Winter makes people retreat indoors. You see the same lights in the same windows every night. And you start to feel like you know the people who live beside you. But sometimes, when the world is quiet and the snow absorbs every sound, you notice things you probably shouldn't. These are 3 stories about neighbors who weren't quite what they seemed. I moved into a small apartment complex right before winter. It was one of those older buildings where everyone kept to themselves. My neighbor across the courtyard always kept his blinds half open. Every night, around the same time, I'd see him sitting perfectly still at his window. No TV, no phone, just staring out. At first, I thought it was coincidence. Maybe he liked watching the snow. But after a few weeks, I started to feel like he was looking at me. I'd catch him in the same spot while I brushed my teeth. Or when I got home from work. If I pulled my own blinds closed, he'd tilt his head slightly, like he was trying to see around them. One night during a power outage, I lit a candle and looked out of habit. His window was pitch black, except for the faint glow of another candle. And he was standing right up against the glass. The next morning, I went to the front office to ask about him. The woman at the desk frowned. "That unit's been empty since last year," she said. She offered to show me the lease records, but I declined. That night I kept my blinds shut and tried not to think about it. Still, I swear I could feel someone watching me through the fabric until the lights came back on. When I first moved into my winter sublet, I was told the top unit was vacant. The landlord said the pipes had burst up there, so no one was renting it that season. But every night, I heard footsteps above me. Not random creaks, actual deliberate steps. Sometimes it sounded like pacing, other times like furniture scraping slowly across the floor. I tried to ignore it. After a week, I couldn't anymore. One afternoon, I went outside and looked up. All the windows on that floor were covered from the inside with thick paper or cardboard. No light leaked through, even at night. Eventually, I asked the landlord again. He looked uneasy. "I told you no one's up there," he said. "Those sounds you're hearing, that's probably the pipes shifting." That night, around 3 a.m., I woke to a soft knocking sound above my bed. 3 knocks, then silence. I got up, heart pounding, and went outside in my coat. I looked up again, and this time, one of the covered windows was uncovered. Just a narrow gap, and I could see a faint light inside, moving slowly from one side of the room to the other, like someone walking with a flashlight. The next morning, I called the landlord again, but before I could say anything, he said, "I'm already on my way. Maintenance found footprints in the snow leading up to that fire escape, fresh ones." I live in a duplex, and the couple next door always seemed friendly enough. We'd wave while taking out the trash or scraping ice off our cars. Around early December, I noticed I hadn't seen them for a few days. Their driveway stayed covered in snow. Then one night, I saw lights flicker in their living room. Relieved they were back, I thought about dropping off some cookies. But something stopped me. The lights were on, yet I never saw anyone move inside. Just faint shadows shifting across the curtains. After a week, I started hearing soft noises through the shared wall. Whispering and what sounded like pacing. I told myself they were just staying in for the winter. Then one night, I got home late and saw their front doors slightly open. The lights were off. I hesitated, then stepped closer. The air coming out of that house was freezing, colder than outside. I called out a quiet hello. No answer. I backed away and called the non-emergency line. When officers came, they went in for less than 2 minutes before one of them came out and told me to go inside. The next morning, the house was sealed off. A few days later, I saw movers carrying boxes out. When I asked one of them if the couple was okay, he said, "The couple? This place hasn't been rented since March." The whispering stopped. Winter hides people. Behind curtains, behind quiet windows, behind the hum of the heater and the wind outside. You assume everyone's just living quietly. But sometimes, the people you think are your neighbors aren't supposed to be there at all. Maybe that's why we pull our blinds shut when the wind picks up, just in case someone's still watching from across the snow.